Good morning, children. Welcome to the online class. Today I will be taking up the lesson, The Little Girl. Now, before I introduce the chapter to you, let me ask you some of the things which you can answer in your own mind. Are you afraid of your parents? Yes, maybe. Do you love your parents? Yes, for sure. Do your parents love you? Definitely. There is no doubt about it, isn't it? I am answering on your behalf because we are not in a classroom just now, so I can't expect you to give me the answers. But I am very sure that the answers which I am giving and the answers which you must be giving in your mind are same. Now, in this lesson, we will study about a little girl who is very afraid of her father. Generally, we see that daughters are very close to their fathers, and fathers also love their daughters a lot. And in many families, you must have seen that the parents are very lenient, but in many families, you must have also seen that the parents are very strict. And we all have heard of a saying, excess of everything is bad. Excess of leniency is also bad because excess of leniency does not teach us discipline. In order to be a disciplined person, in order to be a person whom the world appreciates, we have to learn many things from our family. We should learn many things from our parents. Not only this, when we are outside our homes, we learn many things from other people. We learn many things from our surroundings. But if the parents are over strict, just now we were talking about, if the parents are very lenient, then sometimes the children do not understand how much leniency is required for them, and they become indisciplined. They don't become well civilized citizens of the society, I can say. They misuse the leniency of their parents. But if the parents are over strict, in that case also we see that sometimes over strictness results in making the children indisciplined. Over strictness also leads to indiscipline among children. So there should be a balance. The parents must maintain a balance between leniency and strictness. Leniency is also very much essential, and strictness is also essential, because when the parents are strict, in some way or the other, directly or indirectly, they teach us how to lead a disciplined life, how to decide what is good and bad for us, how to decide the right and wrong. Because if they will not teach us right and wrong, if they will not scold us when we are doing something wrong, then directly or indirectly they are going to harm us. We will not understand. When we are small, we don't know what we should do, what we should not do. So when the parents scold us for any wrongdoing, it is for our benefit. At that time, sometimes we feel bad, we feel hurt, we feel insulted. But we must realize that when the parents are scolding us, it is for our benefit. They want to teach us what is right for us, what is wrong for us, and we must learn from our mistakes so that we don't repeat our mistakes again in our life. Because when we will grow up, when we will become successful people in life, the people who are going to feel proud are the parents. Parents will be so happy that they will not be able to express their pride and happiness when they will see that we have become successful people in life. So in this chapter, children, we are going to study about a little girl. I am giving you a brief summary of the chapter, then I will start the chapter paragraph wise. I will tell you each and every word meaning, and in between I will tell you also some of the questions and their answers. Now, before I start the chapter, let me tell you how to do the question answers and where, so that you are not confused. You must be having your last year's English copies. If you have any new copy, you can make a new copy for English. You must have made already, maybe. Suppose in this lockdown period you don't have any new copy. Please don't worry. There is nothing to bother about. You can use your last year's English copy and continue to write in that copy. Or if you don't have that copy also, or that copy is finished, then you can write on loose pages, staple those pages chapter wise, and then when the school will reopen, when you will purchase the new copies, then you can paste those pages in a copy. So there is nothing to worry. If you have nothing, you don't have old copy also, if you don't have new copy also, then if you have any rough copy, if you have any loose pages, please write all your answers together in those pages and staple them. Later on, paste in your new copy. Okay. So now I think this doubt is clear where to do the answers. Now let me tell you a brief summary of the chapter. This chapter is about a small girl. As the chapter's name suggests, the little girl. The little girl has 3 members in her family. She is the 4th one. The 3 members are the grandmother, the mother, and her father. That means total there are 4 members in the family. The little girl herself, her grandmother, her mother, and father. Her grandmother loves the little girl a lot, as everybody loves the grandparents, and the grandparents also love their grandchildren too much. Similarly, in this case also, the grandmother and the little girl are very much attached to each other. They love each other a lot. Now let me tell you the name of the little girl. The name of the little girl is Kezia. 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 So this girl Kezia is very much attached to her grandmother. She loves her mother also, but she is very much scared of her father. Her father is over strict. He scolds Kezia at every big and small thing. She is scolded by her father very frequently, and the terror of this man in the house is too much for this little girl. As soon as father returns from office, the little girl Kezia becomes very scared. She becomes very frightened. She becomes nervous due to the presence of her father in the house. And in the morning, the next day in the morning, when the father goes to office again, then she is very relieved. She is very much relaxed. She is now a little happy that father has gone to office. Now this does not mean at all that the father is not a lovable person. It is not that the father does not love Kezia, but Kezia feels so. Kezia is very small, and she is too small to understand that behind this strictness there is hidden love of her father. Her father loves her like all other fathers do in the world. But at present, because she is so small, she only feels that she has got a very harsh father, she has got a very strict father, and maybe her father does not love her because at every little thing, Kezia is scolded, and sometimes she is beaten also very badly by him. One day, the grandmother tells Kezia that your father's birthday is coming and you must make something as a gift to give to your father on his birthday. Now, just now I am not going to tell you what gift did she make. Otherwise, I will tell the whole suspense of the story. Then you will not enjoy when I will read. So every detail I will not tell you just now. Let us keep some suspense also. And as I will read the chapter, you will see what did Kezia make as her father's birthday gift. Did the father like that? If yes, then how did he react? If no, then how did he react? Later on, how did the story end. Okay, so now I am reading the chapter, and I am very sure you must have downloaded the NCERT textbooks by now. Please read the chapter along with me, and read the chapter later on also once again, so that if you have any doubt you can clarify later on. Now I am starting with the chapter, and I will keep telling you the word meanings also side by side. If you have any paper and pen with you just now, you can note down the word meanings as I will tell you. Before you read, do you feel you know your parents better now than when you were much younger? Perhaps you now understand the reasons for some of their actions that used to upset you earlier. So the writer is asking us, do you feel you know your parents better now? As you have grown older, now you people are in class 9th. You can question yourself that when you were a kid, when you were a small boy or a small girl, if you compare yourself from those years, do you feel that you know your parents better now? You must have felt that the answer you are giving to yourself is yes. Do you feel you know your parents better now than when you were much younger? Perhaps you now understand the reasons for some of their actions that used to upset you earlier. Now, since you have grown up, you have more mature understanding, so you must have realized now the reasons for some of their actions which earlier maybe you did not understand, and sometimes those actions used to upset you. But now if you will think of those gone days, the actions of your parents, actions and reactions, sometimes maybe you think that you were scolded unnecessarily. Earlier you were thinking this. But now if you will see your actions and you will ask questions in your own mind, you will be able to understand your parents much better. This story about a little girl whose feelings for her father change from fear to understanding will probably find an echo in every home. Very true. The writer is saying this story about a little girl whose feelings for her father change from fear to understanding will probably find an echo in every home. The writer says will find an echo in every home. That means he is saying that when you will read the story, when you will come to the conclusion of this story and you will read about the feelings of Kezia, what feelings she had earlier and how her feelings changed in the end of the lesson, then you will find that this story is very similar to your own story. Now the chapter begins. To the little girl, he was a figure to be feared and avoided. A figure to be feared, that means a person to be feared. A person in the house to be feared. Who feared this? Who feared this man? Kezia feared. Kezia was very much afraid of her father. To the little girl, he was a figure to be feared and avoided. She used to avoid her father as long as she could. That means she hardly went and sat near her father. She hardly spoke to her father. As long as it was possible, she used to avoid her father. Why? Because she was very much afraid of him. He was a very strict father and Kezia was too afraid of him. To the little girl, he was a figure to be feared and avoided. Every morning before going to work, he came into her room. Every morning before going to work, please pay attention children, every line is very important here. He came into her room and gave her a casual kiss. A casual kiss means an informal kiss, like everyday routine. So before going to his office, before going to work, every morning he would come into Kezia's room to kiss her, as if it was his daily routine, and gave her a casual kiss, to which she responded with, "Goodbye, father." As soon as she was kissed by her father, she used to say, "Goodbye, father." This was their daily routine. And oh, there was a glad sense of relief when she heard the noise of the carriage growing fainter and fainter down the long road. As soon as the horse carriage took the father away to his office, as soon as Kezia saw that the father has gone away, she used to feel so relieved. She was so relaxed. Now she was calm. Now she was much relaxed because the father had gone away for the whole day. Where had the father gone? To his office. In the evening, when he came home, she stood near the staircase and heard his loud voice in the hall. In the evening, as soon as the father returned, everybody in the house could hear the loud voice, especially Kezia, because Kezia was always very alert. She was always very much careful in the presence of her father. In the evening, when he came home, she stood near the staircase and heard his loud voice in the hall. What loud voice? Let us see. "Bring my tea into the drawing room." So as soon as he came back from office in the evening, he would loudly say, "Bring my tea into the drawing room." Hasn't the paper come yet? Which paper? Newspaper. Hasn't the paper come yet? Mother, go and see if my paper's out there and bring me my slippers. So as soon as he used to come back from office, he used to command everybody in the house, whether it was Kezia, whether it was his mother, or whether it was Kezia's mother. So in this paragraph we have seen that he used to order, "Bring my tea into the drawing room." Hasn't the paper come yet? He used to ask for the tea and also for the newspaper. Then he would tell his mother, "Mother, go and see if my paper's out there and bring my slippers also." Kezia, mother would call to her. Kezia, mother would call to her. Kezia's mother would call to her, "If you are a good girl, you can come down and take off father's boots." So as soon as father came home, the first thing mother used to do was to call Kezia and tell her that if you are a good girl, you go down and take off your father's boots. Boots means shoes. Help him in removing his shoes. Slowly, the girl would slip down the stairs. Would slip down the stairs does not mean at all that she slipped and she hurt herself. No, not at all. The girl would slip down the stairs means she quietly went down the stairs. Although she was unwilling, she never wanted to go and sit near her father. She never wanted to be in front of him. But because mother had ordered, so she had to go. She was a very obedient girl, and she would quietly, unwillingly, but quietly, she would go down into the hall. Slowly, the girl would slip down the stairs more slowly, still across the hall, and push open the drawing room door. So very silently, quietly, she would go down the staircase and then she entered the drawing room. By that time, he had his spectacles on and looked at her over them in a way that was terrifying to the little girl. As soon as Kezia would enter the drawing room, she would see that father is still wearing his spectacles and he is looking at her in a terrifying manner, in a manner that frightened this little girl. By that time, he had his spectacles on and looked at her over them in a way that was terrifying to the little girl. "Well, Kezia, hurry up and pull off these boots and take them outside. Have you been a good girl today?" I am sure you must have guessed who is talking to whom in this paragraph. Kezia's father is asking Kezia all these questions. First of all, he is ordering Kezia, "Hurry up, take off the shoes, pull off these shoes or boots and take them outside. Keep them outside the drawing room." Then he is asking her, have you been a good girl today? I don't know, father. This is the answer which she gives. Very hesitatingly, in a fearful manner, she says, I don't know, father. I don't know what? I don't know whether I was a good girl today or not. You don't know. If you stutter like that, mother will have to take you to the doctor. Now he is angry when the little girl says, when Kezia says, I don't know whether I was a good girl for the whole day or not. He becomes angry and he says, you don't know. If you stutter means stammer. In Hindi we call haklana. If you stutter like that, mother will have to take you to the doctor. He says this to Kezia. She never stuttered with other people, had quite given it up, but only with father. Please pay attention to this paragraph, children. She never stuttered with other people. Do you know when do people stutter? People stutter when they are afraid. People stutter when they are nervous, when they are fearful. Then they start stuttering because they become conscious. They become scared. And suddenly, even if they never stutter in front of anybody else, if a person is fearful of some particular human being, then he will start stuttering in front of him. So this was the similar case with Kezia also. She never stuttered with other people. Had quite given it up. Had quite given it up means she had stopped this. She had left this habit of stuttering. Almost it was finished. It has ended already. But because she was so afraid of her father, she started stuttering as soon as she was in front of him. She never stuttered with other people, had quite given it up, but only with father, because then she was trying so hard to say the words properly. Because she became so conscious, as I told you, when people become over conscious, then out of nervousness, out of fear, they start stuttering. So same was the case with Kezia as well. She used to become so afraid in front of her father that her deliberate efforts to speak the words more properly, more clearly, made her stutter. She never stuttered with other people, had quite given it up, but only with father, because then she was trying so hard to say the words properly. What's the matter? What are you looking so wretched about? Now this meaning wretched, children, this is a new word for you. Wretched means unhappy. The father is asking, what's the matter? What are you looking so unhappy about, wretched about? Mother, I wish you taught this child not to appear on the brink of suicide. Now, Kezia's father is telling his mother that, mother, I think you must teach this little girl to behave in a better manner and not to appear as if she is going to commit suicide any time. I am reading this again. Mother, I wish you taught this child not to appear on the brink of suicide. Brink of suicide means she is about to commit suicide. Kezia used to make such a face, such a fearful face, such a nervous face in front of her father that it appeared as if she is going to commit suicide any time. So Kezia's father tells his mother, that means Kezia's grandmother, that, mother, please teach this little girl not to behave in this manner as if she is going to commit suicide anytime. Here, Kezia, carry my teacup back to the table carefully. This is another command given by Kezia's father to her. On Sunday afternoons, grandmother sent her down to the drawing room to have a nice talk with father and mother. Please pay attention. It is a very important paragraph, children. On Sunday afternoons, grandmother sent her down to the drawing room to have a nice talk with father and mother. Why did the grandmother used to do this on Sunday afternoons? Because Sunday is a holiday. We know that family members can sit together, have a nice talk, discuss about the past week's events, discuss good things and bad things that happen in the whole week. They can share their feelings, they can share their opinions, they can talk to each other freely. Ample time is there. So on Sunday afternoons, Kezia's grandmother used to tell her that you go down in the drawing room and sit with your parents and have a nice talk with your father and mother. But the little girl always found mother reading and father stretched out on the sofa. Father stretched out. That means mother was found reading and father was found lying comfortably, lying comfortably and sleeping on the sofa. But the little girl always found mother reading and father stretched out on the sofa, his handkerchief on his face, his feet on one of the best cushions, sleeping soundly and snoring. What is snoring? Breathing so noisily that he is making noise from his nose. You must have heard of people that when some people sleep, they make a snoring sound. In this, when people breathe, when they are sleeping and they are breathing, they make a lot of noise. This noise which comes out during sleeping is called as snoring sound. So she used to find mother reading and father lying comfortably on the sofa. His handkerchief used to be on his face, his feet on one of the best cushions, and he used to sleep soundly and snoring. She sat on a stool, gravely watched him. Gravely means very seriously. She used to sit and watch. Whom? Her father. She sat on a stool, gravely watched him until he woke and stretched and asked the time, then looked at her. Don't stare so. Stare means don't look at me continuously like this, he used to say. Don't stare so, Kezia. You look like a little brown owl. So when he woke up from his sleep, he used to see that Kezia is looking at him continuously. Kezia is staring at him continuously, and he used to say, don't stare at me like this because you are looking like a little brown owl. One day, when she was kept indoors with a cold, her grandmother told her that father's birthday was next week and suggested that she should make him a pin cushion for a gift out of a beautiful piece of yellow silk. So when one day she was suffering from cold and she was sitting next to her grandmother told her that your father's birthday is coming, it is next week, and you must think of some gift. You must try to make a pin cushion for your father's birthday gift. And she also gave her a beautiful piece of yellow silk. A yellow silk cloth was given to Kezia by her grandmother, and she suggested that you must use this yellow silk cloth to make a pin cushion so that you can gift it to your father on his birthday. Now children, from the 5th paragraph onwards, I will do the lesson in the next class. Now let me discuss some of the question answers on the basis of those paragraphs which we have done today, so that you can finish the question answers of this much part of the chapter before I start the 5th paragraph in the next English class. The first question which you are going to write is, why was Kezia afraid of her father? This is the first question. I am reading the answer also. You can listen to this video again later on to note down the question and the answer. Why was Kezia afraid of her father? The answer is, Kezia was afraid of her father because he was too strict with her. He used to talk to her very strictly and always found mistakes in her. I am repeating the answer, children. Kezia was afraid of her father because he was too strict with her. He used to talk to her very strictly and always found mistakes in her. So this is going to be your first question and the first answer. Second question is, who were the people in Kezia's family? Who were the people in Kezia's family? This answer is very small and simple. Kezia's family consisted of her grandmother, mother and father. Kezia's family consisted of her grandmother, mother and father. Now the next question. One second, children, let me open the next question because the next question has some subparts also. Okay. Now question number 3. Question number 3 has 3 subparts. So I will be doing the first subpart just now. What was Kezia's father's routine before going to his office? What was Kezia's father's routine before going to his office? This is third question, first part. The answer is, before going to his office, Kezia's father used to kiss her casually every morning. Before going to his office, Kezia's father used to kiss her casually every morning. Now question number 3, second part. What was Kezia's father's routine after coming back from his office? After coming back from his office. After coming back from his office, Kezia's father would ask for the newspaper and tea. After coming from his office, Kezia's father would ask for the newspaper and tea. So these are some of the questions which you will do today. I have told you how to do and where to do, so please don't get confused. Write very neatly. You can listen to the audio again. You can listen to this video again so that you can write the question and answers neatly and correctly with correct spellings. And children, please read the whole chapter once again, especially the first 4 paragraphs which I have done. Read this part once again, and if you have any doubts, you can put your questions in the comment box. Thank you. Have a nice day. Take care.